This is the CU250, the CU525, and the CU625. Let's look at the front first. That one has a round headlight. This one has a round headlight. It's basically a signature VOGE family style headlight. You could call it that, V-shaped, with a lens. These are the two indicators. This one is round, similar to the CU250. Inverted shock absorber. Missing calipers, 4-piston. Factory-fitted crash bars, and these crash bars have a sandblasted finish. These crash bars feel quite high quality. Let's take a look at its appearance. Let's wheel it out to get a better look. Let's look at its overall appearance. VOGE has really done it. What can I say? I'm not just praising them. Honestly, if you say Bender's styling is number 1, and no one dares to say they're number 2, then the styling of this VOGE bike is honestly on par with Bender's. Looking at its appearance, from the front wheel, the instrument cluster area, this middle section here, the fullness of the engine, the exhaust pipe, including the seat, the fuel tank, a teardrop-shaped fuel tank, and from the side, this bike's looks are really good, alright? Really good. We can see inside its headlight, there's a V-shaped combination, these three, several bars, and this part here. Its workmanship, the paint job, is fine. The paintwork itself is no problem at all. You don't feel roughness or see a poor paint job. None of that here. And the fuel cap is positioned over here. It's not in the center. It's asymmetrical. Alright, in terms of appearance, they've absolutely nailed the looks. Especially from this angle, VOGE's styling is really something to talk about on its own. The foot pegs are quite wide and thick, exceptionally wide. Today, we'll test ride this VOGE CU625. My test ride is based solely on my personal riding experience, so please take it as a reference only. What I say is likely my own subjective feeling. It's not a review. Right, let's get on and see how it feels. I'm 180 centimeters tall. The riding position. My first impression is that the seat is very comfortable and quite wide. It's not long, but it is wide. For anyone over 1.6 meters, I think there's no issue with this seat height. Well, this seat height is so low. It's very low, even lower than the CU250. Foot pegs. A typical cruiser riding position. The handlebars don't hit my legs, and there's plenty of room. So for someone who's 1.8 or 1.85 meters tall, this bike is no problem at all, alright. The mirrors are similar to the ones on the CU250. They're all like this. At least they don't hit your legs. No, at least they don't hit your hands. Okay, you can have them like this, or like this, it's all fine. You can modify them later if you want. Let's look at this display in the sun. It's still very clear. We're in direct sunlight now, and it's still very clear. It's got some dust on it. Okay, we can see it's still very clear. Rev counter, speed, coolant temperature, fuel level, mileage, gear indicator, engine light, TC light, and ABS. The display is clear at a glance. There's nothing particularly stunning about it, but there's nothing to complain about with this display either. What's this? Why is it wobbling back and forth? Oh, it's a soft mount here. It's rubber mounted. If you wobble it, it moves. Let's look at the cutout here. The finish on this cut feels alright. Okay. Overall, for the riding position, someone around 1.8 meters tall will have no problems riding it. Oh, the tank is a teardrop shape. Wow, this tank is huge. The fuel tank is quite big. Let's start it up and listen to the sound. Let's go. It's a neutral. Oh, it feels much louder than the CU525. It sounds a little bit better. But it's still loud. It's loud, but it feels like the noise level is slightly lower. Okay, let's put it in gear. Let's go. Okay, I moved off without using the throttle. The low-end torque feels pretty good. Look at this stupid gear shifter. Let me tell you, I've complained about this so many times. This part here, can't they? This part still has a ridge. You see, when I press it, it's easy to use my whole sole, and it feels like it gets in the way of my foot. Like QJ, Bender, etc. They're all the stupid way. Look, this one is the same. We can adjust it a bit. Adjust it to a suitable position. It's on a spline, so it can be adjusted. This crash bar doesn't really get in the way of my foot. Okay, it doesn't block my foot. Okay, first gear is very smooth. Let's go. Well, the throttle is very light. This throttle is way too light. The throttle is in a very light state. It's even lighter than the Super Cub. See? It's too light. Look, a beginner gets on, twist the throttle, and whoa, it'll wheelie. Damn, the brakes are really good. The brakes feel good. It's just when I press hard, it gets in the way of your foot. Right here. Okay, let's do a test. This is my usual test route. The front brake has a good feel. 2 fingers are okay, no problem. Okay, let's wait for this car to pass, then we'll try a U-turn. Look, don't even think about doing a U-turn in one go. One turn. It takes at least 2 turns in one lane. See, when we're turning, it doesn't feel particularly heavy. When you're riding it, or for example, moving it around while stationary, you don't feel its weight. It doesn't feel particularly heavy, it's not like that. That's the feeling it gives. Approaching 30 km per hour, that's 39 km per hour. The suspension gets a thumbs up. Front and rear suspension get a thumbs up, guys. You can try it. Going over a speed bump at nearly 30 km per hour. Even at 40, the suspension is fine. These brakes. The rear brake is okay, no problem. The rear brake engages a little bit too early. It has a kind of sticky, doughy feeling, not that sharp, crisp type. The travel is just a tiny bit long when you press down, but the travel is quite linear. You feel it getting in the way of your foot when you first press it, but as you press further, you can feel how much pressure you're applying, and you can tell when the abs is about to kick in. It's like that. But when the abs does kick in, the feedback on your foot isn't particularly strong. Let me try the front brake. Look at the front brake. It's great. You get as much braking as you squeeze. When it kicks in, it's quite smooth. Let's test the handlebars. To be honest, the handlebars are a tiny, tiny bit off. Just a little bit to the right. Is it how I'm sitting? It's fine. The road is too short. No way. Too short. So I can't test riding with no hands for you. Let's try finding neutral. Okay, neutral is very easy to find. Now in second. Neutral. First. Second. Easy to find. The clutch isn't heavy. It's one of those really light types. The clutch has a quality feel to it. You know, the kind that feels very comfortable when you pull it in. These brakes. Watch me pull just the front brake. Very smooth. Let's test the ground clearance. With such a low seat height, how's the ground clearance? Okay, this is a standard curb. Here we go. Well, that's awesome. The seat is so low, yet the ground clearance is this high. Take a look. Even if I sit on it and push down hard, it won't bottom out. Pushing hard might cause it to touch a little though, but it goes straight up a curb. And this is without putting your feet on the ground. Take a look. The front and rear The rebound is excellent. Both front and rear rebound are excellent. The damping is perfectly adjusted. Let's try this. The rear brake is a bit spongy. It's just that its travel is a bit long, so it feels a bit spongy. That kind of feel. But you can still activate the abs, but the feel of the front brake is much better. Let's try the front brake. See, with the front brake's feel, you can basically activate the abs with 2 fingers. There's no problem with that at all. Let's test its low-end torque. First, to test the low-end torque, let's just put it in first gear. I'm not touching the throttle, it's in first gear. Now it's at 1400 RPM. Okay, first, second, third. Let go of the clutch directly. Okay, I'm not pulling the clutch. Shifting straight to fourth, fifth, see that? Sixth. Well, shifting directly without the clutch. This one. See it? Look, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, first gear. Then it'll shift again. Second gear, no clutch pulled. So you can see more clearly. I'll do this. 3, 4, 5, 6. The torque delivery is very smooth. Very smooth. Less than 1500 RPM and doing 40 kilometers per hour now. I'll open the throttle to see how the torque comes on. See how it feels when lugging. Okay, no problem. The torque delivery is very smooth. Let's take another look, a more direct one. Now in 6th gear, 1500 RPM, doing 30 kilometers per... Now 37, 40, just on idle, at idle speed. Okay, 40 kilometers per hour. Let's open the throttle and watch accelerate. Very smooth. Very smooth. And there's no feeling of stuttering. No feeling of lugging. Honestly, I feel this is a very comfortable bike to ride. It's different from the engineering prototype I did an in-depth test ride on before. There are a few things I want to detail for you regarding the feel compared to the prototype. This bike is different from the prototype. I'll share the differences and changes with you all. The ride quality is really a completely different style from the prototype. Really, a completely different style. Its quality feels like the tuning of a major manufacturer. You see, when we weave from side to side, it doesn't have any of that excessive, unwanted twitchiness. Alright, and it's relatively nimble, but its nimbleness isn't excessive. It's the kind of, how should I put it? Yeah, I'm saying this is a difficult to turn. That's 10 seconds here. Just scrape the foot pegs. It's scraped a bit. I feel like it scraped a little. But the lean angle. For example, when we're leaning into a corner, scraping the pegs, it scraped again. The limit is quite high, relatively speaking. Alright, compared to, say, Bender or QJ models that scrape their pegs, this one's limit for scraping pegs is relatively high. You can do some maneuvers with no problem. But what am I comparing it to? Let's not compare for now. I'll just talk about this bike. The ride quality is quite good. First off, I can feel its vibrations aren't strong. Then let's test the vibrations at high speed. Now it's 3000 RPM at 70. 85 kilometers per hour, 90 kilometers per hour. 4000 RPM at 90. Picking up speed. Plus 100 kilometers per hour, 100 kilometers per hour, 4000 RPM. Over 4000 RPM, 100 kilometers per hour. 5000 is over 110, nearly 120. When we're taking successive corners at over 100 kilometers per hour, the frame feels very solid. The frame is very good. Okay, this frame, when we're riding at high speed and flipping from side to side, the frame feels very solid. That's the feeling. Alright, not twitchy at all, not twitchy. Okay, Next, let's test the performance of its suspension tuning on a bad road. Hey, what's this? This, what? Okay, let's talk about it again later. Why has the engine fault light come on? Let me check the engine fault light. What's it start? You'll restart it. It's still on. Well, let's just ignore it. Okay, next we'll ride this slightly bumpy section. First step, the slightly bumpy section. Let's test it. Picking up speed. At 60 now. Okay, the suspension, the front wrist suspension performance is very good. And there are none of those small, high-frequency bumps, none of that kind of vibration. This suspension gets a direct thumbs up for this, guys. You can try it. It gets a direct thumbs up. Next, we'll go test it on the cobblestone section and those other bumpy sections. Wow, it's a great ride. This frame is really solid. You know, if the frame wasn't sorted well, when you flick it from side to side, or when you're making maneuvers, its feel is quite good. It's not twitchy. It doesn't make you feel a bit, you know, dangerous or unsafe. That kind of feeling. I'll try again. Okay, picking up speed. Look at this suspension. The tuning on this suspension is very comfortable. I think there's absolutely no problem with this suspension. Okay, let's pick up speed. Now at over 40, over 50. I feel the collection of the TC kicks in his ears. Okay, I daren't repeat what I did on the DS525 last time. Plowing straight through and getting stuck. Must be careful. We're going down a slope at over 50 kilometers per hour now. I don't feel the front suspension, but the rear suspension is a bit hard. The seat is also a bit hard. Okay, this is the cobblestone section, speeding up to 70. This suspension is so comfortable. Both front and rear suspension are so damn comfortable. Okay, let's get going. We'll go back this way. We won't go into the riverbed. This bike is still a little bit heavy to take into the riverbed. Look, on the cobblestone section, the vibration control at the handlebars is excellent. A direct thumbs up, but there's one thing that's triggered. Wait a moment, I'll tell you. At 60 now, over 50, going down. I feel, what was it? I don't feel it bottoming out either. Let me tell you, the suspension is exceptionally good. Front and rear suspension are exceptionally good. Over the bumps, on the cobblestone section, and over the small, high-frequency bumps, the performance is excellent. But this part of the seat, towards the back, honestly, it's not hard, I feel the seat is a little bit thin. It's not hard, it's quite comfortable, just a bit thin. If it had more support or was a bit thicker, when you go over those big potholes, or when you go down and up again with that clunking feeling of the suspension about to bottom out, it would be a bit better. I'm saying, make it a bit thicker. But this seat can already handle 80% of road conditions. Good roads, bad roads, you can just ride it. Just thrash it. The suspension. I think this suspension gets a direct thumbs up, No doubt about it. For me, this suspension is quite excellent. Because the road wasn't long enough, I could only get it up to 4th gear, reaching over 160. There's still power left. I didn't really push it in 5th gear, as the road was already too short, so please take this as a reference only. I've ridden the CU625 for several dozen kilometers now, on motorways, bad roads, bumpy sections, both paved and unpaved roads. Let me give you a detailed summary. First, the vibration control on this bike is really good. The vibrations are minimal. Even when you're cruising at 100 kilometers per hour and 6th, the vibrations aren't strong. As you increase the speed, the vibrations are still controlled to a very low level. You can tell from the engine tuning. I heard it has a balanced shaft. Honestly, the vibration control gets a direct thumbs up. It's a very comfortable state. This bike, I think someone 1.85 meters tall can ride it with no problem, and even someone around 1.6 meters will have no problem. The bike looks quite big, but when you actually get on and ride it, it feels quite nimble and the seat height isn't high. But its low seat height is very user-friendly, yet its ground clearance is also very high. You can go up a curb directly, and I mean without getting off, just ride straight up it. I don't get how the seat height is low, yet the ground clearance is high. Next, let's talk about its front and rear suspension. I personally feel the front and rear suspension deserves a very high score. With this front and rear suspension, no matter the road conditions, you can just go for it. You don't need to worry about it vibrating your hands uncomfortably. That's not an issue. The frame is very solid. When riding at high speed, it gives you a very stable feeling. For example, changing lanes left and right, or weaving, is no problem at all. This frame is much better than the prototype, the one I rode. I'll give you a detailed comparison between the prototype and this bike another day. Next, let's talk about the power. I personally think with a 625cc displacement, the power is more than enough for most of our fellow riders for touring and spirited riding in the mountains. And the looks. In terms of looks, as I said at the beginning, it's not inferior to Bender or other popular cruisers. It has its own unique characteristics.
This bike's looks are very good. Its paint finish and workmanship are slightly better than its own 250 and 525, especially the paintwork. Okay, that's all I'll share with you for now. I'll share some other feelings another day. Finally, a few points that need improvement, or what I consider minor flaws. The rear mudguard design. I don't know if it will spray water everywhere on rainy days or during long rides. This remains to be seen. Then, the comfort of the seat is good, but it is a little bit thin. For normal riding, it's fine. But if you're on continuously bumpy roads or riding for a long time, its comfort will be somewhat inadequate. For my height of 180 centimeters, if we're using it for daily commuting and weekend mountain rides, it's more than enough. But for long distance touring, I would still add handlebar risers. That would further improve the comfort. Also, there's a round LCD display, which only shows information like revs, speed, time, mileage, remaining fuel, and so on. The functions are a bit basic.